Most people think that Boogie Woogie is super hard because it's very fast. Well, I'm gonna prove the opposite. I'm gonna teach you a groove in 3 different ways that's gonna sound so impressive. And the best part is we're just gonna be working with chords in 3 different rhythms. So you don't have a trillion fast notes you have to follow and memorize. You only have 3 chord shapes that I'm gonna show you, that if you learn them once, you keep them forever. There's not much to memorize. And adding them in the correct way onto the bass line in the correct rhythm will make you sound like you have been playing for months, if not years. Because most beginners start with learning a bunch of riffs, a bunch of complicated theory, maybe with the blues scale, with this and that, with advanced bass lines. I'm gonna remove all of that for you. I'm gonna make it so simple, step by step, starting with the bass line, and then I'm gonna teach to you rhythm and swing rhythm in Boogie Woogie, and then I'll show you the chords, and then I'll show you 3 rhythms to play the chords in. Easy peasy for any age, any level. So if you're just getting started with Boogie Woogie, then congratulations, you found the perfect lesson. Okay, this is gonna lift the curtains on the foundations, which is really important that you get the foundations right so that you can continue on and make faster, more fun, and more clear progress because you understand what you're doing. So I'll show you exactly how to play both hands together. Let's jump into it. So, step number 1, quickly, let's learn a bass line. We're gonna use the standard classic Boogie Woogie bass line for this. It's not the easiest beginner bass line, but it is the most common, most versatile, and best sounding one for faster tempos. If you can play a bass line already, skip to this section of the video where we go right into the right hand stuff and all of the other things that I'm gonna teach you today. The notes are as follows. C 2 times. E once, C again, G, C, A, G. So we have 8 total notes in this bass line per bar. And we just loop those 8 notes. So we got first note, second note, that's 2 times C. Third finger on the E, back to C, then the G, back to C, and then A, G to finish off. 8 notes. Simple enough. A good way to view this is that the C is kind of the anchor, right? It's kind of like a spring that is gonna shoot up all of the other notes, because we're starting with double C, then we're going to E, we're going back to the C, up to the G, back to the C, and then A, G. So the C is the most prominent note of this bass line pattern, right? So now we're gonna loop this very slowly, just so you get the fingering and the notes correctly. Make sure you use my fingering, okay? Copy it exactly. Again. Bum, 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 bum. Very nice. Now we're gonna learn the rhythm to play this in, because we're not playing it in a straight rhythm, we're playing it in a swing rhythm, which is the way to play Boogie Woogie traditionally. All that means is that we're gonna make one note longer and one shorter. So instead of going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, we're gonna go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so as you can see, we start with the longer note, long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, and then we would go back into the long note in the new bar. Now remember this pattern and the fingering, because now I give you a cheat code to master Boogie Woogie quick, which is shape transmutation, shape thinking. So instead of playing this bass line from different positions, right, and memorizing the notes from these positions, we're just gonna close our eyes for a second. Just trust me on this. Close your eyes, or actually wait 1 second. Your 5th finger here, move it up to this key, the 5th finger. Then lay your hand in the same position as we were doing on the C, okay? So from here, you move it here. And now this only works if you've practiced it a little bit on C before, so take some time to do that. But once you've done that, now close your eyes, and imagine that you're still on C. And then try to play the same thing. You will notice that you're literally, quite literally, doing the same exact thing with your hand. You're just starting from a different note, okay? But this is so important because it allows you to skip the relearning process. So instead of like relearning all the notes, you're just gonna apply the same pattern from F with your fifth finger. The fifth finger decides where the bass line starts. Starts on C, starts on D, starts on E, starts on F, okay? And on F, it's the exact same as on C. Nice. And then we need it also from G. So you can do the same thing. Close your eyes, or don't, but just apply the same pattern. Don't think about the notes too much. And you can also hear when it sounds right. I like teaching in a way where a student cherishes their own musicality, right? Not always just blindly copy-pasting, but also listening and repeating what I do and then seeing how does that sound and does that sound right when I do it, you know? So now we're gonna follow the 12-bar blues progression, which is this progression. So we're gonna play our bass line 4 times on C, 2 times on F, 2 times on C, and then 2 times on G, and then 2 times on C again. Quite simple. If you add that up, that's 12 bars, and we loop that continuously. Let's do it together. 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And here's the 4th bar, and now with the 5th is F. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Back to C for 7 and 8, and then up to G for 9. Congratulations, my friend. That is everything, all the foundations about the bass line learned in a smart way. Now it's your turn to practice that through the 12-bar blues progression if you're starting from 0, because before we play the right hand, you must practice this a little bit to get it under your fingers and into your memory, okay? So rewind the video where I was just playing it and just play along with me. Slow down the video if you must. And also make sure you go into the description of this video right now, click the second link in there. It will take you to a Boogie Woogie cheat sheet. It's my free resource for beginner students, and it includes exactly this 12-bar blues progression and also a bunch of other patterns and help for you to make your learning journey much more enjoyable and faster and a lot simpler. So sign up to that. It will get sent to your email, and then you can print out the 12-bar blues progression and have it in front of you while you practice it, okay? And also moving forward, we're gonna need that cheat sheet as well. So grab that right now, and then we're gonna move on. Okay, now that you've completed that task, we're gonna look at our right hand. We're gonna introduce 3 chords. 1 for C, 1 for F, and 1 for G. And I'm not gonna show you the boring chords like everyone else does. I'm gonna show you really cool chords that sound way better than the standard boogie woogie chords. And after I show you the chords, I'll show you 3 amazing rhythms to play them in. And trust me, you can learn this. Just put the video on full screen and pay attention. So, our first chord looks like this. You should also view this as a shape. First finger on E, second on G, third on B flat, and 5th on D. This is a C9 chord. Nice. We're gonna try playing this on beat 1 of each bar of the bass line first. Let's do it. For 4 bars on C. 1 and 2, just on beat 1. And 4 and 1. Nice and simple. 3 and 4 and 1. Third bar, 3 and 4 and 4th bar. And 3 and 4 and... Good job. Remember, we're going step by step. So this is how you build boogie woogie skill fast. If you learn one single thing, you practice it a bit, how we just did before, learning everything at once and then trying to practice everything at once, okay? So maybe take another minute just playing that, looping that. Bassline on C, right hand chord. To get this chord more internalized, an exercise, a bonus exercise is to shift octaves. So go up, go down, and just play it in different octaves. All that means is you're playing the same notes, but from different pitches on the piano, also known as an octave. So higher sounds higher, lower sounds lower, but the notes are the same because all of the notes repeat across the piano, right? From C, we have only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different notes in between C and C, right? And then we have C again, we have the same notes. B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and so on. Good, now we're gonna learn our F chord. All we're gonna do, we're gonna shift 2 fingers from this C. We're gonna move our thumb from the E into this position, the E flat, and the 3rd finger down from the B flat into the A. Okay? So we're coming from here, and we're going in here. If your fingers are too big to play both of these keys together, then just leave out the G and only play the E flat, A and D, okay? But if you can, play both of these keys. And then we're gonna apply that chord onto the bass line on F. Play your pattern on F and play the chord on beat 1. Good job. You can do that also for another minute or so, or we keep on going right away. Now we need another chord. The 3rd one is G. G looks like this. We're gonna do a really, really nice technique that you might never have been taught before. We're gonna play 2 keys with 1 finger. We can do this often in Boogie Woogie because it gives you that bit of a dirty sound, you know, that's so common for blues. We often play a bunch of clustered up notes. We're doing that here. We're learning that technique. Okay? So, F and G with your thumb. Kind of angle it a little. Then we got B, D, and F. Okay? There's a G7 chord. Now we play this chord from G. Nice. Very nice. So loop that part a little bit as well, because now we're gonna combine everything. We're gonna play all 3 chords through the 12-bar blues progression. This is how it matches up. You see how we're going step by step here, right? And this is how you get the Boogie Woogie sound. So this will already sound like Boogie Woogie, even just on beat 1. Now we're just practicing the chord on beat 1. So 1, and we play that together, and we shift the chord on F and G back to C. Okay, we go very slow, and you can slow the video down too. Just loop this section until you can play it steadily. 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Nice. That's C done. Up to F. 1. This chord, right? 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and back to C. You can adjust and find your chord shape. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and up to G. Find your shape. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and back down to C. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Nice. Now that already sounds kind of nice and groovy, but it's not near what we're gonna have at the end of the lesson. So Work with that a little bit, practice that a bit, okay? Maybe a few more times through the 12 bar blues, and then you're ready for the final and most rewarding step, which is the rhythm, okay? Because instead of just playing on beat 1, we can play these chords on a bunch of different rhythms. Sounds like Boogie Woogie, right? Super, super cool stuff. Let's look at that. I'm gonna teach you 3 rhythms that you can keep practicing every day until they're in your mind-muscle connection, all right? So let's start with the first one. The first rhythm, we're starting, this is every bar, by the way. So every bar the same. On beat 1, and then on beat 3 and, okay? So that means we're starting on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and finish the bass line. That's 1 bar, okay? It's really important you match this up right, so you have to count in your head how I'm doing. I'm giving you a great example of how you should practice. You should sit here and literally count out loud or in your head 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, that's the first rhythm. You play it from C, F, and G in the same way. Remember to grab the cheat sheet and also make yourself a sticky note on your piano. This is a pro tip where you just write down, play chord on beat 1 and 3 and, so that you remember. Okay, so then you can always see your sticky note and you can count, then there's no chance for error because you're counting, right? You go 1 and 2 and 3, oh, here's the 3 and 4 and. All right, good job. So do that for C, F, and back to C, and then G, and then C again. Good job. That's rhythm 1 done. But remember to stay around for rhythm 3. That is the coolest one because we're going to combine 2 rhythms into one kind of a melody sequence. It's going to be so awesome. But first we go into rhythm number 2. So rhythm number 2 is really, really similar to the previous rhythm because all we're changing is instead of playing on the 3 and, we're going to play on the 2 and. Okay? So we got and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So it's sooner. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. F and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. G and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and C and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Nice. So that is 2 and this is your time to practice these, by the way, because it needs a bit of repetition to get this into your mind-muscle connection. All right? So you practice the 3 and for 5 minutes and the 2 and for 5 minutes a day. You know, you split it up. We learn better, this is proven in studies, if we focus on one thing at a time, but do it longer, rather than doing like 3 minutes, but we're focusing on both. It's better to do 5 minutes, one thing, and then 5 minutes, the other thing. That's way better than doing like 30 minutes, both things together mixed and matched. Because your brain can't really internalize what you're doing. Repetition is the mother of all skill. One of my millionaire mentors taught me that back in the day when I used to work like a sales job. He always said this to, and you know, he was successful for a reason. Came from nothing. He read like 300 books in a year or something. He also had millionaire mentors, and he always said the thing that he hears so much is that repetition is key for any skill. Okay, so make sure you loop one thing. But now let's get to the third and final and most exciting chord rhythm. This one sounds like this. Very nice. So here we're gonna need a little bit of hand independence, because the hardest thing here is the first bar. Instead of starting both hands together, we're gonna start the left hand on its own and play our right hand chord, the first one, on beat number 1 and. So that is the second beat of the bass line, right? If we're counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So the second C of the bass line, that is where we place our chord. Check it out. 1 and 2 and then the second time we place it in that bar is on the 3. So the 1 and then on the 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Now up to F. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Remember to keep the swing rhythm long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long. Sorry, that was wrong. And 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Nice. Good job. Very good job. We're not done yet, because this last third chord rhythm has 2 bars. Okay? So instead of just doing what we just did, bar by bar, the same, we're going to be alternating between the third chord rhythm and the second bar that we're playing will be the second chord rhythm. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Remember, the second one was 1 and 2 and, the third one was 1 and 3, right? So we're going to attach these after each other continuously. We start with the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we go into the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then you have your advanced sounding boogie groove. Yeah, that you can play for your friends or family. And the more you practice this, the faster you're gonna get and the better it's gonna sound. And then, when you're really good, you can start mixing and matching these chord rhythms. I'll show you what I mean. So instead of always just doing one chord rhythm for the whole 12 bars, you can do all of them together. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Shift octaves. course, later on you can learn an ending, you can learn more advanced bass lines, you know. There's a bunch of cool stuff for you to learn, but this is really the core, the beginning, because these chords are going to be used for every bass line that you learn. Even advanced stuff like what I'm playing right now. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I have one more thing for you. If you have a really hard time, or if you're noticing a lot of inconsistency in your playing when you're trying to combine the chord rhythms, and if it's hard for you to play both hands together, then I have a course for you. It's completely free. It is my gift to you to keep the Boogie Woogie alive. And it's called the 5-Day Hand of God Challenge. And it's basically the system to take you from a complete beginner to a person on the piano that can play both hands together way easier, right? Without all of this time investment, without the unclarity. So it's a step-by-step course, and every day you get a 5-minute exercise that will build you amazing hand independence. So take the course. It's the first link in the description. It's your logical next step, so that you can play both chords. All chord rhythms freely, right? And you can keep that bass line going while you move your hand and talk. That's what you really need for Boogie Woogie, and the course will take you there. Okay? So sign up to that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for learning this awesome music style. My mission is to keep the boogie alive, and by you learning this, you're participating in that mission. We gotta bring the boogie back into the mainstream, alright? And blues as well. I'm just gonna be improvising a bit. I hope you don't mind. You can click off the video now. I'm not gonna teach you anything more. Are you still here? I appreciate it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the 5-day Hand of God course so that you can develop some real boogie freedom. And yeah, I'll see you there. Take care.